One of the lesser-known games in the wildly successful Mario Kart series is the entry Mario Kart Double Dash for the Nintendo GameCube, released in 2003. The title is unique when compared to other entries because it allows the player to control not one, but two characters at the same time on the same kart. Pair this with super tight controls, extremely cool collectibles, iconic tracks, and a very high skill ceiling, and you have one of the most chaotic and ambitious racing games of all time. I'm Bob Dan Wood, and today we'll be going over the world record history of a Mario Kart fan favorite, and see how players took one of the fastest courses in the game and made it even faster. So without further ado, let's get right into the world record progression history of the one, the only, Baby Park. If you're new to Mario Kart, you're probably wondering what makes a course called Baby Park a super fast-paced fan favorite. I reached out to Mario Kart Double Dash player Average Trey to answer just that and give a general rundown on the course. Average Trey is more famously known for his contributions to the Super Mario Sunshine speedrunning community, but he's put serious time into Double Dash and even made it to the top 100 players list. On top of that, he's also commented on high-level gameplay at Summer Games Done Quick 2019. So with all that being said, take it away, Trey.
So Baby Park is pretty unlike any other track in the game. It's 7 laps as opposed to 2 or 3, around simply an oval shape. And while that may sound boring to grind out, it's actually one of my personal favorite tracks, which is pretty unusual. I think most people don't really like it that much, but I'm a fan of Baby Park. It's really fun when you're on like good pace. You get like 5 really good corners in a row, and you're like, okay, this could be the run. I got to keep this up. But yeah, I mean, I like it. As far as competition on Baby Park, it's much more spread out, closer to like the tippity top level of the track. Baby Park is like very, very high skill ceiling, but like at a mid to lower level, it's all relatively consistent. So I guess in that regard, it's kind of cool for me because I'm definitely lower level.
In the early days of Mario Kart Double Dash world records, video recording and streaming obviously wasn't anywhere close to what it is today, and previous world records aren't as well preserved or documented, so finding them in decent quality, or even just finding them, can be a challenge. So I'm going to rely on the information provided by the lovely people over at the Mario Kart World Records website, and briefly touch on the numerous stats they have recorded for Baby Park. Starting us off on November 17, 2003, the first world record was held by an unknown Japanese player clocking in at a time of 1:08.480. Now, for the beginning, this was a very impressive first record, but it's not super important because literally one day later on November 18th, another Japanese runner going by the tag Nobu would take the world record at a time of 1:07.393. The record wouldn't stay for long because the following month a French player named Cesar Martin would take the record down to 1:07.306 on December 13th, and would proceed to take the record down a few more seconds by the end of the month, ending up with a clean 1:06.455. The record would briefly go to another Japanese player going by the tag Ibsen, who would bring the record down to a 1:06.245 on January 5th, 2004. This record prompted the return of Nobu, who would come back later that same month with a 1:06 followed by the first sub 1:06, clocking in at a 1:05.963. By now, the course was starting to look pretty optimized because the record would stay at a 1:05 with some notable runners such as John P., Alex P., Marty, Jay Steele, and 2100 breaking numerous records all throughout 2004. It wouldn't be until 2005 where we would see the first sub 105 with a runner named Paul M. with a 1:04.963. And with this first sub 105, the early era of Baby Park would begin to come to a close. The most notable runners from the 2005 to 2006 era include big names like Ralpha64, Tiguda, and Aaron. These runners would work to whittle the world record down from a 1:04 to a legendary 1:03. While there were numerous battles in this era, the climax was definitely on December 29th, 2006, when Aaron from the Netherlands took the record down to an all-time low twice in one day, getting a 1:03.968 and a 1:03.845. From this point forward, two very notable runners would usher in the modern era of Mario Kart Double Dash with their fierce back-to-back runs that would take the Baby Park record lower than it has ever been before. Baby Park records would not see any action until the winter of 2013, when a top-level Swedish runner by the name of Andreas resurrected the course with a commanding 103.850 on December 10th. 3 years later, an American runner going by the tag Andrew set some impressive world records, but ultimately, this would lead to the introduction of top runners Goomba and Optimistic Emo. These two would dominate the world records from 2016 onward. One of the reasons these two were so successful was because they could execute the most difficult techniques in the game, like A-Tech and the legendary sideways drift. After setting the world record a staggering 25 times, Goomba would push the record down as far as a 102.358 on December 15, 2018. This is where the record currently stands at the time of recording this, and that concludes the world record history of Baby Park from Mario Kart Double Dash.